Hello there. So you're planning a trip to Peru and Ecuador, and I have put together some ideas for you, and let's go through it together so I can explain how the trip works, how we can tweak it, how to make it your own. I'm here to help. I have been putting these trips together for the last 19 years. I love Latin America and I would love to share it with you. So let's go through this particular trip. It's planned for December of next year. So we have plenty of time to plan, plenty of time to check availability, but this kind of will give you an idea of what we can do. So this trip combines two countries, Ecuador and Peru, very popular to put together. If you have a US passport, Canada passport, you do not need a visa. You do not need any vaccinations. It's very easy to visit both countries. So I started in Ecuador. So we're going to fly into Quito. We're going to pick you up. We're going to take you instead of right into Quito downtown. We're going to go north of the airport to Otavalo. Otavalo is this mountainous region home to Otavalo Market. This is the largest indigenous market in South America, but it's also home to all these indigenous communities and villages and lakes and mountains. Very spiritual place, very relaxing place. And so throughout there, you will find haciendas, and haciendas are like working ranches, working farmhouses, beautiful, charming accommodations. So it's a really nice place to unwind upon arrival. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours from the airport. Quito downtown is about an hour. So this is a little further, but when you wake up, you're in the countryside of Ecuador and there's nothing like it. And they will have dinner ready for you when you arrive, and then we're ready to explore the next morning. So our private guide will come in the morning, pick you up, show you the highlights around Otavalo. We will go to the market. We'll visit an indigenous community. We'll learn how to make some recipes for lunch together. The wonderful Claudia is our chef there, and she just puts on such a great experience. You pick up ingredients from her farm, from her garden in the back, and she teaches you all kinds of things, and of course tells stories, and her kids are running around, and it's just a wonderful place to spend some time and in this community all together. And then after Otavalo, we're going to fly to the Galapagos. So Galapagos are a 2.5 hour flight away from Quito. We take care of everything, your permits, your ID cards. We help you with an assistant at the airport to go through all the customs. But the idea in the Galapagos is to come and see the wildlife. So the special thing about the islands is that there are no predators. We are the predators. And so the animals have no fear. So a lot of people are coming here to get close to wildlife. So you have choices. You can go on a cruise. There are 7 night cruises, 4 night cruises, and everything in between. You can stay in hotels. 3 of the islands have villages on them, so there are hotels there, and you can do an inter-island kind of island hopping is what we call it. There are glamping hotels. There are all kinds of different properties that we can incorporate. A lot of people will combine a short cruise with a hotel and so on. So for this particular itinerary, it is an island hopping itinerary. So you would fly into the Galapagos, and then we'll pick you up and take you into Santa Cruz. That's the main island you're going to stay in. And Icala Hotel is there. It has a nice pool. It's right in the middle of the village. And on the way, you're going to pass the highlands. That is where the giant tortoises roam. You'll have lunch there at the plantation. So it's a really wonderful welcome to the islands. And then the next day, we're going to visit the famous Charles Darwin Center. This is just kind of an epicenter of the Galapagos. It teaches you all about the history, all about studying the giant tortoises and evolution and all of his theories. And of course, there are plenty of giant tortoises in the plantation or in the center as well, even baby ones and things like that. You can talk to the scientists. It's a really fascinating place if you're interested in history. And then in the afternoon, we'll spend some time, of course, at a site. So every day we want you to go to a new site so you can see different colonies, different bird life, and do some kind of new activity. So Tortuga Bay is great for iguanas, bird life, sea lions, marine turtles. And we will not only be able to get in the water, but we will can kayak here. So we will do that with a guide and have lunch and then return to our hotel. And then on December 6th, I know you had an interest in diving. So of course we can arrange some diving opportunities here. So everyone can dive or we can split. So for you, I have it split. So one person will go diving and we have different diving opportunities depending on your experience. So this is one place where it is quite regulated. So there are some places where you need to have been diving even 20 times. Other places you will need to have maybe 3 dives. So we will discuss that. And while you are diving, the other person who is not interested in diving will go snorkeling, will go exploring another island, will go on a wonderful full day excursion to see some other sites, maybe see a red sand beach or go to a penguin colony and things like that. And then on December 7th, both of you will go on a yacht. It's a full day tour. So we take you to the port, you get on a yacht, and you visit an island such as Bartholomew. This is one of my favorites because it just looks like Mars. And there's a penguin colony exactly on the beach where you will be swimming. So it's just an exciting place to be. Wonderful adventure. I've done plenty of these yachts, day trips. It is similar to like being on a cruise because you're going to other islands, uninhabited islands, but you get to come home and stay in a hotel for the night. So for people who don't like sleeping on boats, this is the perfect solution to see those sites that are not, reached by land or by bike or by kayak. And then I want you to also experience the west side of the archipelago, and that's Isabela Island. So to get there, there are a few different ways. We can go by a speedboat. So not every speedboat is made the same. And I really urge people to really push to get as much information. Sometimes people just book a really cheap speedboat and they are very packed, not as safe as I would want them to be. So I don't work with those. But we have some high-end companies that will do that transfer comfortably. Everyone has an assigned seat and you're there in a few hours, 2.5 hours, and you're in Isabela. If speedboats are not your thing, we can also fly. There is an airport in Isabela. We can do an inter-island flight. And so once you're there, the hotels here are kind of fun because they're right on the beach. So Casa de Marina is a great option. And Isabela is the largest island. It has active volcanoes. It has so much wildlife and bird life. So this is kind of a place that is a lot on a lot of people's bucket lists. So you're going to be there for a few nights, and every day you're going to have activities. Every day you're going to have guided tours. Every site that we sell always requires a guide. This is a highly protected archipelago, so it's really important. And then on our last day in the Galapagos, when we come back from Isabela to Santa Cruz, instead of heading to the village, I included for you a glamping experience. So these are safari-style tents, running water, electricity, everything you need is in there. It's a like proper hotel room, but the walls are canvas. So you can hear nature. You can be kind of one with the plantation. And this is set in the middle of a giant tortoise plantation. So they're literally rubbing up against your tent and just kind of walking very slowly all around the park. It's a wonderful experience. Everyone I sent here loves it. So I think it's a great ending to the Galapagos. Of course, this is just one way to do the Galapagos. We can do cruising, we can do luxury hotels, we could do huge ships, like 100-person ships. So whatever it is that fits your style. And then off we go to Peru. So I wanted to mention here that this trip does not include Quito because you mentioned you don't want to visit it. But of course, we can include Quito. This would be a perfect place to do that. Go back to Quito, see the highlights, go to Equator Line, and see some of the Andes parts here. So if you have extra days, I highly suggest it. Otherwise, we fly from Galapagos to Guayaquil, and to Lima, Peru. We're going to spend 2 days in Lima. It's on the coast, it's sea level. It's a really nice place to unwind, rooftop pool and bar at this hotel. And then you're going to taste your way through the city because Lima is known for its food. Some of the best restaurants in the world are here. And then we're off to our highlight, which is Machu Picchu. In order to get to Machu Picchu, we will fly from Lima to Cusco, and then we will acclimate in the Sacred Valley first. It's a lower altitude. It makes a lot more sense to stay here for those first nights so that you can adjust easily. And of course, Sacred Valley is filled with amazing sites like the Salineras, like Chinchero Village, beautiful hotels and lodges surrounded by mountains. We sponsor a wonderful village here called Misminai. We will take you there so you can enjoy the Pachamanca ceremony and learn all about life in the Andes. And we'll go to Ollantaytambo. It's a nice combination of sites that are off the beaten path, like our villages, but also on people's bucket lists, like ruins of Ollantaytambo. So the whole idea is to spend 2 full days in the Sacred Valley acclimating and then head to Machu Picchu. So December 16th, we're going to take you to a train station, 2-hour train ride, Vista Dome train. It's a glass dome ceiling, and you arrive at the ruins. Our guide is there taking you directly to the shuttle to the ruins, and you have your first tour. So the ruins are quite massive, and they're split into 7 different circuits, 6 main circuits. And so today you will do the circuit, and we handpick them. And we like the one that has those beautiful overlooks, the beautiful photography opportunities. This allows us to spend the night in the village and the next morning return so that you can have a second visit, maybe a less known circuit, maybe deeper in the ruins. And on that second morning, you will have an opportunity to do some climbing if you are a hiker. So we have Huayna Picchu, we have Uchuy Picchu, and right behind where this lady is sitting, there is Machu Picchu Mountain. So there are 3 peaks that we can climb. After our climb, we have lunch, and then off we go on a train to Cusco. So the whole idea was to acclimate in steps. So we arrived, we went to Sacred Valley, then we did our highlight of Machu Picchu, and now we're going to Cusco, which is the highest place in altitude on your whole trip. That's why we leave it for last, so that your body can be acclimated. And this is where we're relaxing. We're sleeping in. We're enjoying a beautiful cobblestone city. Our guide will show you the best of the city. We'll do a lovely dinner inside a museum that is here in Cusco. So it's just a nice way to wrap up the trip, end the trip, do some cooking, do some hands-on experiences, but really laid back. We also have a wonderful bartender that will take you on a cocktail tour, because at this point you're acclimated. You can enjoy some alcohol or mocktails if you don't drink alcohol. And we go to our favorite restaurants and bars, taste some pisco sours and some local flavors before your flight home. So your flight home would be on day 19. This is what about 3 weeks in Ecuador and Peru looks like. Of course, there are so many different ways we can incorporate into the trip. There's the Amazon jungle, there's Lake Titicaca, there's Arequipa, Coca Canyon, there's beautiful train rides to other parts of Peru. And of course, in Ecuador, outside of the Otavalo and Galapagos portion, we can go down the avenue of the volcanoes to Cotopaxi, to Cuenca, to Baños. There are so many fantastic places to explore. So let me know your thoughts, what fits, what doesn't, and I am looking forward to working on your trip in detail. Happy travels.